A lot of so-called professionals online today suggest that Windows 7 isn't very well designed for touch. Well, I've been using touch devices in various forms for about 20 years now, and due to the fact that my job is tablets, I get access to all sorts of different devices. So I get exposed to a lot of these touch devices, whether it be my iPhone, which I use every day, or the iPad, which I use to read a lot of ebooks on and play games on. Or this brand new motion computing J3500. I think the best way for you to decide whether touch really works on Windows 7 is to see it for yourself in everyday situations. Follow me around as I do some of the daily tasks that you might do on a Windows 7 PC, but with touch. I'm going to start by plugging in a USB key so that we can copy some files across that we can work on today. Plug the USB key in, pops up on screen. Now the simplest way for me to copy and paste a file onto the desktop is just simply to grab the file with my finger and drag it across. And there's another way I can copy that file across. I just click on a file and I use a feature that's called flicks in Windows 7. So I just flick my finger across the screen like that, that's a copy, and then I tap on the desktop and I flick my finger down in a different direction to paste. The third way I could copy a file across is simply by clicking on the file, and then with a single click and then a second click with my second finger, I can bring up the right hand menu just like you would with a mouse. Click copy, same on the desktop, and click paste. Alright, so I've moved 3 files across there that we can work on. So you can see how extensively touch is catered for, even with a simple task like copying and pasting a file. It's very easy to do with your fingers. Navigating around, I really don't miss a beat. It's very easy to open up a file. Of course, you can use some of the gestures, the pinch and zoom gestures that you could in some of the other devices like an iPhone or an iPad. You can do all that sort of stuff in Windows 7, but they're really just gimmicks. What I really need to know is how well this is going to work for me in my day-to-day work life. Now, let's imagine that we're going into a meeting now and we want to take some notes. Well, I'll open up a program here called Microsoft OneNote. There it is there. And I'll just open up a new page there and we can take some notes. Now, for note taking, I'm going to use the pen because it's a Wacom Active Digitizer, which is much more accurate than finger touch, so it's much better for note taking. But now watch this, because as I write, I've got the wrong pen on there, I'll get down the screen a bit and I've run out of room. So I just simply, with my finger, drag the page down and I can continue writing my notes. Okay, so now we need to check something out on the web. So we'll open up our web browser and we'll search for tablet PCs here in Google. As you can see, Windows 7 has its own touch optimized keyboard. It has predictive text and context intelligent. It makes it really easy to type things like email addresses because it actually searches through your Outlook address book and your web history to bring up all of the different email addresses that you might have. So it just makes it so much easier to type. I'll click on here onto this link here to our website, tabletpc.com.au, and as you can see, if I want to zoom in on a particular piece of content, all I have to do is use a double tap gesture with a single tap with my 2 fingers. And you can see that it's actually zoomed in onto a piece of content. It makes it easier for me to read. Now, from there, I can use a pinch gesture like this one here to zoom in and out. But if I wanted to go back to the original view, 100%, all I have to do is double tap with my 2 fingers and I'm back to the normal view. Now I can also scroll up and down the web page with 1 finger or with 2 fingers. Okay, so let's open up a Word document, the one that I copied over from the USB key, and as you can see in the Word document I can scroll up and down with my finger. Makes it very easy to get through the document. It's got a bit of momentum there so I can flick fast and get to the bottom quick or slowly. Now if I wanted to do a little bit of markup on this document, I just put the pen near the screen and I get this pens menu and I can do some highlighting and some markup. Now let's close that down again. We'll use our finger for that. Back to touch. You can imagine that you might be in a PowerPoint presentation and you wanted to, let's add a new slide here. New slide. Got 2 slides there. So we'll draw some ink on this slide and we'll make this slide 2 so that we can tell the difference. Switch into the presentation mode there, and I can actually just advance slides just by using my finger. So you can see the touch works really well as a way of interacting. Now if I was in that PowerPoint presentation though, and I'm making a presentation and I wanted to add some notes, I can do that during the presentation. So you can imagine how powerful that is, even if I just had a blank piece of paper like this and maybe we're doing some brainstorming as a group with a projector attached. This content here is going to come out on the projector. When you combine Windows 7 with a really well designed tablet like this Motion J3500, it is very easy to use. One of the reasons that this one is so easy to use is because the screen is really well set into the unit and there's no real edge there or recess around the edge of the screen, so that makes it very easy to get up into the corners and close windows. So that was a really brief walkthrough, but you can see that with a well-designed tablet like the Motion Computing J3500, that Windows 7 is trivially easy to use with touch. Now, through the walkthrough we had very few missed touches. We didn't really struggle to do anything, and that's thanks to the great user interface redesign that they did for Windows 7 to optimize it for touch. Now, even the little things like, checking on the battery life are really easy to do in Windows 7 thanks to that user interface redesign. So when you add in things like right-click context menus, pen flicks, touch gestures, what you have with Windows 7 and a tablet PC is an amazingly powerful combination that will make you so much more productive. This is far more than a content consumption device. This is a work tool.